Hi there, Paul Jansen here from Turner Hopkins Immigration Specialists. A question I often get asked when I'm talking to potential clients is why should they use an immigration advisor? And it's a fair question. My answer is probably pretty biased because it's what I do. But I think it's more than just filling in forms, and that's the message I would give. So a lot of people consider advisors as being people who just literally fill in the form. We should really go beyond that, and a good advisor is going to give you advice not just about the application, but about the move, about the risks, the challenges you will face, and give you a realistic view of what your chances are. So finding a good advisor is one thing, but once you've got a good advisor, holding on to them and using them as a resource is really, really important. I think if I was going to give anyone advice and tips on making the move, it would be to start with an assessment of your options, and it's something a lot of people don't do. So they get very carried away with the social media view of making the move and seeing wonderful photos and maybe being encouraged by family and friends to migrate, but they don't really take the step of thinking, well, can I do it? And often what happens is people get caught up in securing a job offer, coming here on a temporary visa without a plan to stay long term. And obviously you want to know that plan to stay long term exists before you take that first step. So whatever you do, the first sort of port of call for any potential migrant is to assess their options, have a game plan, have a map, and have a strategy in place. When we talk to potential candidates or potential migrants, they sort of fall into several groups. There are those who have made the decision and they're moving. They probably have to figure out if they can first, but in their minds, they have actually mentally made the shift already. Then we get people who are sort of in the middle, maybe not quite so sure as to whether or not they want to do it. They're still feeling their way around. And then we have the first group, who are those who are really just sort of testing the water. And for all of those people, I think some of the advice I would give them is to be realistic about what this process will involve. Doesn't matter whether you've made the decision to move or you're at that very early stage of sort of feeling things out. You really need to be realistic about the fact that it will be costly. It's a big move, it's an expensive move. It will take time, it will take energy, and it will take commitment. And it never works perfectly. Be ready to change and to adapt and to have a flexible plan and someone to help you through that process as well. If you are thinking about making the move, and whether you're at that early stage, sort of testing the water, or whether you've really made the mental decision and you've kind of packed your bags in your head, reach out to us, give us a call, drop us an email, get in touch online, and we'll basically start by establishing what your options are, give you a realistic view of those options, the steps involved, and a budget, because ultimately you need to have all of those things in place to decide on if you actually are going to make this work. So get in touch, we're available. We start with an initial free chat just to kind of work out what you can do, and then we'll dig a bit deeper and give you that plan.